It's big news today that John Kasich has decided to pull out of Indiana to give us a head-to-head contest with Donald Trump. That is good for the men and women of Indiana. It's good for the country to have a clear and direct choice. After discussions with the Kasich campaign, we made a decision about allocating resources. We decided to allocate our time and energy and resources on the state of Indiana. Governor Kasich decided to allocate his resources elsewhere. I think that made sense from both campaigns.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, now earlier you heard me talk about the fact that Kasich said, I'm not telling anybody not to vote for me in Indiana. So I don't know what they're talking about here exactly, but maybe Mike Kelly, a Republican congressman from the great state of Pennsylvania, member of the House Committee on Ways and Means, and also co-chairman with the Northeast Midwest Congressional Coalition. Maybe he knows. Hello, sir.
Hello, Steve. Great to be with you.
Thanks for coming in. Appreciate that. All right, so you got the primary tomorrow.
Yes.
But first, let's talk about this. Donald Trump's calling it collusion between Cruz and Kasich. Have you ever seen anything like this? To make this kind of a deal, don't campaign in this state because you can't win it, but go there. Weird.
I think this is an example of Donald Trump becoming more presidential by saying collusion. Anybody else would look at that and say, "Are you kidding me?" This is absolutely incredible. And I think what it does, though, Steve, it kind of reinforces around the country now, especially in Pennsylvania, where our primary is tomorrow. Like, who are these people? They said they weren't going to stop, even though they didn't have a mathematical chance of getting to 1237, but they'd still get to Cleveland. Now they're saying, look, we've got to do this to make sure that Trump doesn't get it. So this never Trump thing bothers me. It should be never Hillary. Not never Trump.
Right.
It's never Hillary.
Right.
Never, ever, ever Hillary.
But does this, what is it, does this smack of desperation on the part of Cruz and Kasich? How does it come off looking to the average voter?
I'll tell you what I think it comes across. It looks like we're disenfranchising the average voter. We're telling them, look, you people probably aren't going to make the right decision. That by meaning people making that decision. There is a great feeling out there that somehow it's an insider's game and they will decide. They will decide, not the voters in Pennsylvania's Republican primary election, but somebody else will decide who's going to get there. The way you get there is by stopping Trump. So I think it's very apparent right now to people that Donald Trump was never anybody that the party looked at as being a serious candidate. I don't think that's a good idea because I think people start to feel disenfranchised. And I'm talking about everyday, hardworking American taxpayers, people who really have a feeling that maybe they shouldn't vote anymore because their vote doesn't matter.
Well, in Pennsylvania, I mean, Donald Trump, because he's way ahead in the polls, could win the state with a huge margin, and he could still not get the majority of delegates. I mean, that's almost as insane as Colorado not having a primary or a caucus and having the delegates determined some other way.
The only thing Donald Trump is guaranteed tomorrow is if he wins the state. If Republicans go into the primary tomorrow, 14
or something.
Well, there's 71 altogether, but 17 are made up of 14 handpicked by the party. Right. The other 3 are GOP state chairman, the national committee man, and the national committee woman. Now they are committed and bound on the first ballot only.
But that's a small percentage of 71.
And there's 54 other delegates who are unbound, uncommitted. Now, these folks also, keep in mind, 3 from each of our 18 districts are going to be elected by the same people who put an X in the box tomorrow who they'd like to see our nominee to be. But they have no guarantee that those 54 people going to Cleveland are going to vote the will of the district of the people who elected them. There's nothing more stunning to these people. Say, that's not the way it works.
Right.
So Donald Trump could actually win Pennsylvania and not get 1 delegate.
And you're afraid that this whole system and the revelations that are coming out will lead to voter apathy in November.
Well, listen, we all know any anger that's not addressed sooner or later does become apathy. And what they are believing now is it doesn't matter if I vote. My vote doesn't count. We're actually telling them right now. Doesn't matter who you vote for. We'll decide, not you, who our nominee is going to be. I think that is very chilling, not just to Pennsylvania's Republican primary voters, but people around the country that say, this can't possibly be true. Why are we doing this? And the answer is somebody else is making the decisions of how the party should go forward, not the people, not those everyday guy and gal that gets up and worries about what's going to happen to their kids, what's going to happen to their future and their kids' future. We're taking them out of the process. I think it's absolutely a disaster.
And you're so right, I believe, with the hashtag Never Hillary.
It has to be Never Hillary.
Because, I mean, if Hillary becomes president of the United States and she gets 3 Supreme Court nominees to appoint, we're talking about definitely the Second Amendment going away, limitations on the First Amendment when it comes to Muslims. I know that's coming. And the affirmative action, abortion on demand. I mean, this whole country will be transformed for the next 50 years.
You name it. You name it, whatever's on the list, whatever on the menu right now, it'll never be the way it was made by the founders and by the way the founders wanted it to be. It's going to go away. After 8 years of President Obama, another 4 years of Hillary Clinton, possibly 8 years of Hillary Clinton, because as you know, by the time that rolls around, and we keep thinking, well, maybe in 2020 we'll have a nominee that we like. No, 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 no. You win today, and the best way you win is make sure you don't lose. We are running a losing campaign by doing this right now, and I will just say this to a lot of my friends. Look, you got to win, but you do it by not fracturing. You stay together as a party, you stay together as a people, and you stay together to make sure that America has a chance.
And this is the rules as they exist. Do you see anybody interested in, I mean, the party, the people who can change the rules and make these changes to make it a primary or a caucus and make that the votes count directly, correspond to the number of delegates? Do you see that happening? I mean, I don't see any indication that the RNC gives a darn.
Well, listen, I'm with you on that. I mean, look, if it waddles like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a duck. And where I come from, it's very apparent to what's happening right now. Here's my concern. I said it earlier. When you make these people feel that they don't count, there is now a revelation that they don't have anything to do with what's going to happen. They know now the way it's going to go, at least the way they think it's going to go because of the way the party's talking. I think it's horrible for us to go down that line, and I think if we really want to draw more people, we want to have a bigger tent, make them feel that they're more welcome to come in the tent, that they actually count.
And just for clarification, you'll support whoever you haven't endorsed anyone, whoever the nominee is, you'll support.
I said from day one, look, whoever comes out of Cleveland, here's the thing I want to make sure. Never Hillary, never Hillary, never Hillary.
By the way, you're never Hillary, by
the
way.
Yeah, listen, I'll tell you what. We got to stay strong that way because I'm going to refuse to lose.
Never Hillary. That's what I like. Thank you very much, Congressman. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.